Alright, so I watched the first episode of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and here are my thoughts. Not gonna lie, man, it took a little bit to get into this series when it first started off. There were some really cool ways to establish that this is indeed part of the MCU multiverse. Next to the mandatory Stan Lee cameo, you have this awesome scene that's a recreation of the introduction of Spider-Man in the MCU. We see a version of this in Civil War where Tony meets Peter for the very first time. But that's not the only thing taking cues from his introduction in Civil War. There's a shot-for-shot recreation of Peter walking into his apartment all the way down to the dialogue and the left hand's free music that is playing. The only major difference in this scene is the person that Peter eventually meets. And it's not Tony Stark, no. It's actually Norman Osborn, proving that there are slight differences within the MCU multiverse. But to me, this episode didn't start getting going until we got introduced to Lonnie Lincoln's character. Not only does the show establish a actual good love triangle relationship between Lonnie, Peter, and Pearl, because surprise, Lonnie's actually a good guy and gets along with Peter very well, creating stakes for everyone involved. The perspective of the protagonist shifts to Lonnie as the main character, and we get to learn about his home life and where he comes from. Also, what he deals with, like this scene on the train, this scene with the police officer, and then even a slight look into his personal relationship with Pearl, the girl that Peter is into. This is actually how you flip the stereotype of the jock on its head. And then you follow that up with the scene of Peter as Spider-Man actually having a heart and sympathy for the people who are thieves and robbers and why they do what they do. It took a minute, but I think it ended on a very strong start to the season.